Greetings, 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 my people of the Tarot. I am here to do a reading for Jeff Burr, the Tattoo Spirit. He graciously accepted for me to do a reading for him. And he wanted me to do it live so I can explain how I do a reading. Now, I already did the reading, and so it wouldn't be this big, long video. And because I wanted to type out the reading for him, so it was easier for me to do it in this manner. But I'm going to walk you through and talk you through the reading. This is my 7-card spread. It's based on the elements. So, center is self. Self, the center of the universe for you, or how you are in this moment. This card right here is east of air. Then we have south of fire, west of water, north of earth. And then we have as below, which is the foundation of the issue, and as above is a message from Spirit. So basically, Jeff asked me this really long question of how to refrain his business to make it move forward with social media. It was several sentences long, and one of my mentors, which you all know is Lavender Moon, and she always spoke about really getting to the heart of the question. Don't make it so long and complicated. Make it about one sentence, and that is it. Because then the tarot can give you a better and clear answer. Also, I'm highly intuitive. I read, my basis for my readings is the elements. Also, so that's, because I've been working with the elements for most of my life. So that's why my tarot reading is based on the elements. And then my intuitive, oh, there goes my printer, my intuitive interpretation of the cards. So I wrote it out, but we're going to start in the middle. So we have here, let me get my little stand and then we'll go through them this way. We have here the Queen of Cups. So this is the self. This is the way things are right now. Well, when I do a reading, I don't like to totally predict for the future. So in my readings, it's more about what is going on now and what is your job. And I usually get the messages of what you need to do, what your job is for forward movement in the question. So I broke down the question is, how can I move forward with my business through social media? I hope that worked it out. So we have the Queen of Cups. So that tells me Jeff is quite an emotional kind of guy. He is tapped into the emotional waters of the collective, meaning that he is very sensitive and really gets what others are feeling. I'm a lot the same way. So he's empathic. He's an empath. I would bet my life on it. Well, not my life, but I would bet that Jeff is very an empathic person. I didn't write this down, but this is what I'm saying now. So he doesn't get all wishy-washy, though. He knows how to control and direct his emotions for the benefit of others. I just need to check. Yes, I am recording. I wasn't sure. Sorry about that, guys. I was like, did I just stop my recording? So that's the center of the issue. So we go on to east of air, which is 9 of Wands. Excuse me there. So this tells us that in his subconscious, this is what I got, my interpretation. In his subconscious, may not be something he's totally aware of. At times he is, but basically it's in the back. That in his subconscious, Jeff can be quite defensive because he has been wounded and he has put up a wall of protection. So this lends him to be quite fiery, and he can seem quite forceful and direct at times, which is overwhelming to others. And, you know, sometimes he really blows a lot of hot air, but yet he's the Queen of Cups, right? He has that emotional component. So it's not that he means to be direct and forceful, but it comes across that way because he has such a depth and wealth of emotion. So that's the East. So I'm going to try to do this weather quickly. I need to get other work done today. So then we come to South of Fire, which we have the Princess of Swords. This is a Druid craft deck, by the way. So the Princess of Swords would be the Page of Swords. So sometimes the court cards can be somebody else in our lives, or they can be an aspect of ourselves. We all know that. So this is the Princess of, or Page of Swords. So this may have been a person that influenced Jeff in some point in his life, so that he interprets his creativity in this way. In other words, and I'm not reading from what I wrote, but I'm seeing that, feeling more now that he is very creative, but he hasn't really brought that to the top yet. His creativity is there, it's very strong, but he really needs to bring that up more into his mind. So what we wrote down here was, even though Jeff can be somewhat offensive at times, there is a softness here. But this is also speaking to his creativity. His fire and zest for life and creative fire has been tempered by the page, or by the princess. And then what I told you, that it's not, you know, so that he's, it's kind of like it's tempered to his creative drive. It's there, but it's been tempered a little bit. And it's probably been tempered because, as we saw, and I should leave that out, on East, because he's been wounded, right? He's been wounded, and that we all put a guard up when we have been wounded. Okay, now we go to West of Water, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a very big need to be very successful, to be practical, to have that financial stability, but it's in the place of water. So that tells me whenever there is money issues, it brings up a lot of emotional issues also. So what I wrote is, there is a want and need to be financially, and it makes Jeff has the ability, though, to control of his finances and move forward, but he needs to be cautious that he doesn't make mud by bringing in too many emotional issues to the financial picture. Then we move on to North of Earth, where we have the Prince of Pentacles. So this, to me, is a very good card. This is a very good sign. The princes or knights are all about, really, they're the foreign moment. They're the chariot of the court cards. They like to get things moving, and they tend to have a little fiery side where they tend to stir things up a bit and get creative. So Spirit, you know, the Pentacles is very practical and down to earth, and he can be quite passionate, though, in his quest. Again, this is an aspect of Jeff that should be brought to the forefront. And I was getting a message that he should meditate or pathwork with this card of different decks to help cultivate forward movement with his business. Sometimes the cards do not give you exact how, but they give you the messages and the tools that you can work with for forward movement. So now we come to, as below, the foundation is the Six of Pentacles. Here we see somebody sharing when he really doesn't have a lot to share. But what I kept seeing in my mind's eye was an old ledger book, you know, where you track all that you spend. You can get computer ones nowadays, of course, but I saw it in book form. So that Jeff should be cautious of how he spends his money, because sometimes he's too quick to spend and doesn't realize where the money is going. So he should be meticulous in tracking and spending, and even budgeting his funds. This will lay a foundation for success. And the cards do give me clues. Don't, you know, here. So now we move on to as above, which is the Prince of Wands. So here again we have another knight and forward movement. So I think this is really a great card. Get those creative fires. And then it tells me that Spirit is saying, Jeff, you're already on the right track. Really bring up those fiery, creative, passionate juices, because you have it all within you. You have all the tools. I keep seeing the Magician card that you have all the tools necessary. You just need to put some movement into that. Put some, which you are, because like I said, you're on the right track. So what I wrote was, he's on the right track, but he needs to pay attention to detail. He has all the tools. The fire and drive are here within this card, and it can help move things forward. Spirit also said, work with this card alongside the Prince of Pentacles for clarity that you need. My lips are not working today. So here we have the overall. Then I take a look at the overall layout and see how things are just opposed and how they line up in every direction. Either way, you can also put these over here like this. Hopefully you can see the whole thing. It's kind of hard when they're laying flat, and I need a tabletop tripod is what I need for my camera. It would make it a lot easier. So we can see the center itself, a very in control, emotional person who knows how to direct his emotions. And he's and also in sync with the collective. Notice how she has her foot in the water. But there's a defensiveness. You know, and Spirit is saying, use that defensive fire for drive, as you can see this way. You know, you've tempered a little bit of your creativity, but it's there under the surface. We got the Ace over here too, and we got Pentacles here. So there's really a good sense of forward movement. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote, and then I will close this out. And Jeff, I will be sending you the printout and a picture of the layout. Overall, this reading is pretty clear. Jeff presents a person who has control of his emotions and knows how to direct them. Though he has a tendency to put up different defenses, not differences, with speaking his mind. It would be nice to tear down his wall and speak more of the truth of what he's really feeling. It might help him to focus a little bit more on his creativity. Turn up the heat there a bit. He has all the tools he needs. He just needs to tap into them. When it comes to money, Jeff has a tendency to get a bit emotional over it. This is where the ledger would come in handy. Details. Pay attention to details. This will paint a clearer picture of movement. The two knights, I don't know why I put down, the two prince of or knights are the key and the great possibility of forward movement. Spirit is saying, path work and meditate with these two cards, and success will be a breeze. I hope you enjoyed that. Check me out on wildfeatherblogspot.com. If you would like a reading from me, that's the best way to get in touch with me, and that's spelled wildfeatha.blogspot.com. That has all my info and how you can get in touch with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing this. I can't wait to see the reactions from this readings. So, over and out, my people of the tarot.